Well, it is a Friday morning, March 10th, 2017. Here's a rundown on some of our national and international stories for you. The Republican-backed health care bill has cleared its first hurdle in the House. Basically, if this is passed, it's going to repeal that idea that everybody has to have insurance. It's also going to reduce the amount of money that's available and the amount of people that are covered by government health care programs. A lot of folks having backlash against it. I think it's a good start. I don't know why we have to replace. Why can't we just repeal? We can talk about that at some point. The FBI wants to know how long the CIA was actually aware that they were breached. The reports actually came out last year about the WikiLeaks hack. And, well, if the CIA was aware of it, how long were they aware of it? And how many people continued to have access that probably shouldn't have had? So now the FBI is looking at the CIA. Meanwhile, the CIA is still looking at everybody. The latest WikiLeaks revelations, the question being asked, is privacy really dead? That's going to be the subject of my commentary today. The missing Malaysian Boeing may have been seized by an extra passenger. I've noticed a discrepancy in terms of the passenger log of how many people were supposed to be on board and then how many they said were missing. So there may be an extra person in there somewhere. That Trump travel ban may end up preventing the United States from hosting the World Cup, big soccer event, because obviously a lot of countries that are currently banned won't be able to travel to the United States. And if the United States is hosting the World Cup, well, obviously that couldn't happen. So it may end up, instead of preventing people from traveling to the United States, it may end up preventing the United States from hosting the World Cup. Also, the ISIS leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, he has apparently abandoned the Mosul fight. They say he doesn't seem to be anywhere near. They think he's in hiding out in the desert somewhere. This is the self-proclaimed caliph. Right, the guy who's the ruler of all Muslims everywhere. Well, self-proclaimed, that's a very important term there. The Sberbank, which is a Russian credit institution, confirms hiring the Podesta Group for lobbying its interests. That's Podesta was the fellow who ran the Clinton campaign. So everybody's eyeing Trump about Russian connections. Apparently Russian connections are everywhere. Also, it looks like America's infrastructure still no better than a D+, according to engineering experts. The same grade it got back in 2013. There have been some other areas of general degradation. Japan, meanwhile, looks like it's on its way to reviving its army. They're now authorizing strikes on potential enemies outside of Japanese territories. Remember, it's been the self-defense force for, since the end of World War II. The idea has been that they would only have an army for self-defense and not for any foreign operations. Has been gradually growing. Now it looks like they're authorizing more and more. And it looks like Donald Trump is considering sending B-52 nuclear bombers to Korea as part of the latest war games in light of the missile tests by the, people are calling it a rogue state. And meanwhile, air raids have killed 23 more civilians in Syria. And lastly, we see in the UK that far-right and neo-Nazi terror arrests have doubled in the last couple of years. So there you have it. That's a rundown on our news. Make sure you check out the Alaska News. And once again, my commentary today on the lack of privacy. How do you live in a surveillance state? If you like what I'm doing, support me at my website, radiofreespeech.com, or through, of course, the Patreon experience as well. Thank you.